Ways and Means. It's still Thursday, February 26th at 11-ish. And we are going to hear about H588, which just came to us from House General. It is sort of the standard OPR housekeeping bill. Some of it we have jurisdiction over, much of it we do not. We have OPR here, we have a fiscal note. We're going to do the section by section or summary until there's something that people need to see the statutory language on. Floor is yours.
Thank you very much, committee members, for having me. For the record, my name is Tim Dublin, Legislative Counsel. Indeed, you have, let's see, before you, H588, the miscellaneous OPR bill. It is draft 6.1, and I provide the committee with both the language of the bill and an overview. Both should be available online on the committee's webpage. I'll be working off the overview, as Chair Corn has just indicated. And please let me know if you have any questions or if you'd like to dive into the particulars of the language at any point. I can switch documents easily enough. So I will just kind of rattle off kind of machine gun style here some of the areas this bill covers. It will be a wide array. So this bill proposes to explicitly enable the Office of Professional Regulation, or I'll just be referring to its shorthand acronym as OPR, my testimony today, to rescind licenses in instances of administrative error, non-payment, and withdrawal from lapse of interstate compacts. Also, it will enable OPR to enforce against attempted fraudulent or deceptive procurement or use of a license, and this is just the attempt language. The actual conduct of fraud or deceptive procurement is already in statute. It will require professional regulation board members to be adults. It will correct terminology for license denials of foreign applicants. So just kind of some of the verbiage change there. We'll create additional combinations of education and experience as prerequisites for accounting licensure. It will create a new form of licensure for dentists, particularly a limited academic dentist license. It will remove the requirement for advanced practice registered nurses, or APRNs, in their license renewal application will no longer have to include documentation of completion of APRN circular. It will enable OPR to create temporary policies to supplement psychologist licensure, in particular their educational requirements, and that will be notwithstanding any contrary rules. It will eliminate the advisory committee on midwifery that reports to OPR as well as the Commissioner of Health, and it will change the license renewal requirement for midwives to submit individual practice data to a discretionary decision to be made by the director. It will also modify the definition of what constitutes a practice of funeral services to include disposition of human remains by cremation, alkaline hydrolysis, or natural organic reduction. It will require OPR to report on the possible professional regulation of speech language pathology assistance. Right now, speech language pathology pathologists themselves are already licensed. And finally, it will require the registration of massage establishments to expand on operational requirements and unrelated professional conduct.
So I am personally sort of interested in what alkaline hydrolysis means, but I'm not going to ask you. And what I would like you to go deeper on is the dentist.
Sure.
I believe there might be a fee attached to that.
There is a $0.
Oh, I love that.
Essentially, it's just listed as 0 so that they're hopefully to kind of head off any ambiguity or confusion as to there being no fee. So rather than just kind of not stating what the fee is in the statute, it's written in $0.00, and that's going to be in section 12 of the bill, which amends, 26 BSA, section 662 having to do with fees, and that's in particular under chapter 26 professional regulation, chapter 12 for dentists, dental therapists, dental hygienists, and dental assistants. And then the more substantive changes having to do with creating the licensure or that licensing credential and collection will be in a new section, which is not any tail fees at all.
And the massage therapist?
Sure. So let's get down to part 9 of the bill, and this is sections 18 through 19. So we have it's kind of a long list of various amendments to the section statutes. And to orient us, we're in Title 26, again for professional regulation in general. Chapter 105, particular to massage therapists, body workers, and touch professionals. And as I will refer to them, I'll just be using short handle massage therapist, but when I say that, just know that it means massage therapists, body workers, and touch professionals. It's just a little bit of a mouthful. So we will have, let's see, I guess what is perhaps an issue on people's minds is whether there is a new fee here or not. And I'll give my 2 cents on it, and then I would encourage the committee to ask OPR for their opinion as well, just because they may clarify some of the points I'm making. There's no explicit new fee here. Let me just pull my notes quickly. Oh, geez. So the way I kind of characterize it is that it sweeps more people into an existing fee, but it's not necessarily create an explicit new fee of its own. So let's see, Chapter 105, where we are, regulates massage therapists. It requires all practitioners to register, which costs $90. And this is under a cross-reference to 3 VSA 125, particularly subdivision B1M. And that's just the kind of enumeration of all the fees, or many of the fees that OPR collects, charges, the various professional professions they regulate. And then, let's see, under current law, 26 VSA 5423, each massage establishment must have a designated massage therapist to be responsible for ensuing compliance with the law. There's a presumption in the law that the designees register and pay the fee, and the same would be for all establishments owned and operated by massage therapists already. Now, what this bill does will require any and all persons who own or operate an establishment to register, and as an attempt to create a penalty if there's non-compliance, of course. And under Section 5425, applicants and persons regulated under this chapter shall pay those fees set forth in the cross-reference section, which again is $90. So establishments owned and operated by a massage therapist will not really be affected. They already paid the fee. Will be affected the same, I guess I should say. However, if an establishment is not owned or operated by a massage therapist, that owner will now be required to pay that fee. And I know there's some nuance around this and some operational consideration, or I should say, implementation considerations that I think would probably be better answered by OPR. This is my reading of the law. That's better.
Questions? And we'll hear from OPR and joint fiscal.
We're hearing from OPR.
Okay. Are there any other sections of the bill that folks want to go deeper with Tim on?
Yeah, the speech language pathologists.
Sure. So the pathologists themselves will not be affected by this bill, but there will be regarding their assistants, there'll be a sunrise review required of OPR, form that is. And OPR will be tasked with looking into and recommending a suggested level of credentialing for speech pathology assistants, whether that be lowest registration, middle certification, or highest, most involved, I guess, another way to think about it, full licensure. And so how to regulate assistants in particular, OPR will be tasked with taking a look at that, reporting back to the legislature.
So since our vice chair brought this up, I'm going to ask this question. Maybe I'm dating myself by saying how long I've been around, but there's been tons of battles and concerns around speech language pathology because they sometimes serve independently of the education setting, and they also serve in education settings where they also carry a licensure from in education. And I just wondered if that has been part of this conversation at all for assistance.
I don't know if I could really speak with much knowledge on that. I would probably defer to Pierre.
Anything else for Tim? Yes.
Just quickly, the zero fee, where there's no nominal, no fee at all.
Right.
But there's a place for the fee. Your fee is open, but is there no cost or no work done here?
I think that's a great question for OPR.
So defer to Pierre.
All right, thank you.
Any other sections anyone needs to see? Thank you so much, Tim. Really appreciate it.
You.
Folks want to go OPR then JFO or JFO then OPR? OPR. Thank you, Director Collin.
So much. Jennifer Colin, I'm the Director of the Office of Professional Regulation. Thanks for having us today. And I don't have prepared testimony, but I'm here and happy to answer y'all's questions about H588. And so in terms of the questions that were just asked, I could take the one about dental licenses first. So we were very excited to learn that there is going to be a satellite dental school campus that's opening in Vermont very soon.
I'm
And
excited about that too.
we're all very excited because if you've tried to make an appointment at your dentist's office, good luck. We have such a shortage of dental hygienists and dentists. So we're thrilled that there's going to be this school opening in Vermont very soon. And so the faculty of that school will be folks who are also working in a dental clinic that's operated at the school. And those clinics or that clinic will be offering services at low or reduced cost to folks who need lower or reduced cost dental care. And so, and that's a way to get people in school trained to be dentists under the supervision of licensed professionals. So there will be a nominal amount of work that OPR has to do to process these applications, but we don't expect that there will be a significant volume there. And also, we just wanted it to, we didn't want to put up another barrier with a fee for this credential, given the significant shortage that we have of dental practitioners. So we don't think there will be a substantial impact on our work in terms of processing these applications.
Can I respond?
Yeah, of course.
And I respect that and admire that decision. But remember that there's some cost. And we've heard many times in my tenure here in the State House that, especially since has been no fee bill coming through the legislature. So we don't have a chance to change the fees at all unless we go a different route. But there used to be an annual fee bill. When that is now not happening, the fees stay the same. So that means the fees have never covered the cost for you guys, never. But they have added to the revenue coming into your office to help offset whatever there is. So when you purposely don't set a fee, that means all the cost for the work you do to prepare that piece of paper she takes and puts up on her wall is something you have to absorb. We're going to hear about that again in our office because we hear about it every year.
Yes.
Representative Brannigan, I will offer, and I think you make very good points about when there's no fee to start. I will, in defense of the Secretary of State's office, they actually did bring us a fee bill
Yes.
2 years ago,
Yes, they did.
2023, and we, with full collaboration, and we passed it. And that was very exciting. And they've been doing that regularly with us. Yes.
I remember, I
It was-
dream about that.
Yeah, it was very, that's great. Yes, okay.
The other important thing to know is that OPR is currently undergoing a study of how our agency is funded because of the very point that you're making. Some of these professions, you know, we're a special fund agency, so we don't get a general appropriation. Some of these professions are operating in the black and there's no issues. Others of the professions are operating in the red and are at a deficit because our funding model is from the 1970s and doesn't take into account the way we do professional regulation now. So this is a 2-year study that OPR is doing. All employees at OPR and Secretary of State's office are doing positive reporting, keeping track of their time so that we know how much each profession costs. And we have data on that. And we'll be coming back to the legislature with a report on what our findings are and what our recommendations are to change the way that we're funded.
So what year are you bringing the report?
I believe we have 1 more year of data gathering, and then we'll be providing that report.
Can you tell me a lot more about the massage therapists?
Happy to do that. So OPR's done, I believe, a couple of reports on the regulation of massage therapists. And you'll recall back in 2018, there was a practitioner in Middlebury who had a voyeurism charge because they were recording unsuspecting clients in dressing rooms. And so that kind of squarely brought into OPR the question of should massage therapists be a regulated profession in the state of Vermont. We studied that, we did a Sunrise report, and ultimately we concluded that, well, let me back up a bit. So under Chapter 57 of Title 26, that's our Sunrise provision, and we're only allowed to regulate professions when there's a risk to the public health, safety, and welfare by the unauthorized or unregulated practice of a profession. So we can't just regulate any old profession we want to. There has to be a risk of harm to the public. And so we studied that and determined there was a risk of harm to the public. And that risk of harm was by basically practitioners who would engage in sexual acts or conduct with clients. And so we felt that registration would be an adequate regulatory program, which means everybody who is doing, who is engaged in the practice of massage therapy has to register with our office. They're not required to have training. They're not required to have any national certifications. If you're engaged in the practice, you have to register with us. And that gives us enforcement oversight, meaning that we get complaints from the public if some sexual touch or something has gone wrong, and those practitioners are subject to our unprofessional conduct statutes. So we can prosecute those folks and we can remove them from the marketplace. And I'll tell you, in this profession, we've had around 100 complaints since we began regulating massage therapists. And most of those, I would say the vast majority of those have been around sexual misconduct. And so we've prosecuted quite a few folks, removed them from the marketplace, revoked their registration, which means they can no longer engage in the practice of massage in the state of Vermont. Okay. So we've been regulating individual massage therapists for a few years. And, we do still have in the state of Vermont, just like in every other state, the issue of illicit massage businesses. So these are businesses that are under the guise of massage, but really where human trafficking is taking place. Our office has engaged in investigations with state law enforcement and other like federal and state partners to investigate these types of businesses. But it is happening in virtually like all of the bigger towns in Vermont. There are illicit massage businesses. And so we wanted one additional tool in the tool belt. This is not going to solve the problem, but it's a way for us to require, or let me back up, registration of a massage establishment where it's more than just one person practicing, where it's multiple people engaged in the practice, will allow us to ensure that this is a registered business in the state of Vermont, meaning registered with the Secretary of State's Business Services Division, like it's a legitimate business, that we identify who is the actual owner of the business. And it also gives us more authority in terms of inspection or going into the business to determine if it's a legitimate business. And if it's not, we can yank that credential. We can revoke that establishment credential and essentially shut the place down.
And so I just want to try to sort of put what you said, make words to make sure I understand.
Sure.
So in a scenario where an establishment has many folks who provide massage sort of coming in and out and maybe not the most permanent workforce, you have enforcement capacity that goes beyond the individual in
Correct.
sort of whoever might be hiring them or not hiring them.
Correct. And it doesn't even, we anticipate that shop owners won't necessarily, or not shop, establishment owners will not necessarily be individual registered massage therapists.
Like I
Like
just own
they might just own the business and hire people to work in the business. So the goal is really to give us another tool in the tool belt to try to fight human trafficking.
no, I know this is a public safety issue in my community
Yes.
and I really appreciate you taking it on. Thank you.
Yeah.
Go back to dentists for a bit, if we could.
To where?
I just want to make sure we're done with massage.
Okay, I'm
Okay.
sorry. We'll
No, it's fine.
go back around to dentists in a minute.
Anyone else have anything on massage?
Yeah, I was just wondering, scale, I mean, we'll hear from JFO about the number of practices, but I'm wondering how many of the practices that exist now are not owned and operated by the massage therapists?
And we don't have data on that because the businesses aren't registered with us and there's no correlation between the owner of the business and we just don't have that data at the moment. I think we've got 1,200 registered massage therapists and we found some information from Department of Labor. We estimate there are around 150 establishments. So whether those are owned or operated by a registered massage therapist, I mean, that's some will be and some won't be, but not a substantial number.
Back to the dentists.
Okay.
Thank you, Representative Maslin, for your patience.
Yeah, I got some questions and I don't know if you can answer.
I will do my very best.
I won't be disappointed if we try to find our way down a rabbit hole.
Okay.
Yeah. I've been aware for some time that BTSU has been trying to set up a program for dental therapists and various kinds of dental work with a lab. And much of it seems to have come almost to naught, or halfway there, but not quite. And I wonder from your perspective, if you have any information to share about that. My concern is it was an attempt to create more professionals that didn't pan out. Even though a lot of money was spent to build a lab and various other kinds of stuff. So does your officer have anything to add to that discussion?
I'm sure we would, and had I been prepared for the dental therapy question, I could have come with that information, but I don't have it on hand. So I'm happy to give you I can provide you with some more information.
Anything you want to provide would be,
Happy to do that.
thank you very much.
I'll do that. Great.
If I could, this is a little outside this, but now that we have you here, Director. A question that came up the other day and just, can you tell us who can ask for a sunrise?
Oh, I'm so glad you asked that question.
Oh, I'm so glad you asked that question. We love Chapter 57 of Title 26 because it really is this is our public protection lens, and we're very passionate about our mandate of public protection. So there is an application process on our website where anybody can seek to request a sunrise review from us. So it's not just the legislature. Anybody can do that. there are certain, pieces of information and data that we require for people to give us when they're doing a Sunrise application, but anybody can ask for that.
If the tax department wants a Sunrise study on something, would you like us to put that in statute, or do you just work that out with the tax department?
That is a great question. And this is something I think that we probably heard about, which relates to real estate appraisers.
Indeed.
Yeah, so we've had conversations with
Okay.
with the tax department about that. And either way, either by application or legislative mandate, we don't have a preference. I suppose if it's just thinking through it, if it's a profession that we've never regulated before, something that we've been doing is requesting an appropriation with that request, because those Sunrise reports take us a lot of effort. And if there's not a profession that's already related to that report, then we have no funds really to do that with. But for
Real estate appraisers.
but we do regulate real estate appraisers, so I wouldn't expect that we would have an appropriation request for that. Thanks.
Thanks for.
Are they licensed now, or are they certified or registered?
Licensed, I believe.
Well, then I guess why would the tax department ask for us to review?
It's slightly different, a real estate appraiser and
Oh,
a.
I see what you're saying. Okay.
That's right. So this is for like town listers or folks in their appraisal department, I think, who are doing that.
Cool. So.
Tax should speak to most of this.
Yes.
Kind of Pigley.
So,
Again, what you said initially is anybody can file an application, but you don't necessarily always go down the road of a Sunrise review. You judge it based on that application, whether or not you go further, correct?
I believe we do have authority to kind of decline to do further review if it appears that, if you came to us with a request for something that impacted like 5 people doing
People
the
that mow
thing.
your lawns.
Yes, exactly. Or like a minimum number of people would be impacted, and we could kind of tell from the outset that there was no public protection component of that. I believe we have the ability to decline.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, really. Oh, sorry. Yep.
And this is really more just a request.
Yes, ma'am.
That with respect to the speech language pathologist assistance.
Yes.
Understand the intent and support, all the work you've been doing to try to do public protection, and also professionalize our workforce where it's needed. But will that Sunrise report, will that include both looking at where those folks work and what the implications of that, and also will it look at financial implications, not
Yes.
just for the speech language pathologist assistants, but also for your office and also for potentially the Agency of Education?
Absolutely. So there is a provision in the Sunrise statutes that I think prohibits us from looking at specifically programs that exist at the Agency of Education already. So I believe that's in the very beginning of Chapter 57 of Title 26. However, we do have other professions where, we provide kind of the base licensure, and then AOE has additional requirements and requires the folks to get an AOE license as well. So
Is your intent to try to pull those over? Because that's what's happened in the past, and just as you are an enterprise fund, that would have left at the time a $350,000 hole at the agency. And so I encourage, the leg bone is always connected to the wrist bone or whatever, but just make sure, I hope you can make sure in your report that you're looking at unintended consequences of recommendations as well. It's hard.
and to the extent that we're allowed to under Chapter 57, we will do that, because we have to go through reviewing the money, reviewing the policy. We have to look at all different components of it. So
Right. And that hasn't always happened. Yeah, thank you. Not from you.
Thank you very much.
thank you.
I think we're gonna hear from Mr. Leotard first, and then we'll hear from you, Chad. Hello, welcome back to Ways and Means.
Thank you. Well, as it says, I'm here to speak on the fees that for the H 588. My name is Hercules Leotard. I'm a massage therapist and massage therapist business owner and member of the Vermont chapter of American Massage Therapy Association. Last year, I testified on fees relating to individual massage therapists, specifically that OPR is charging fees that are more appropriate for licensure, while OPR is choosing only registration for massage therapists. 588 creates new regulations for massage therapy establishments and charges an additional fee for establishments, the same fee as for licensure. The individual massage therapist fees continue to be erroneous, and 588 creates duplication for small businesses. Under 588, any business that offers massage, such as a spa, salon, doctor's office, chiropractor's office, etc., will be paying that fee. A larger business establishment may be able to compensate for that fee. However, 588 does not take into account the burden on small businesses. Under 588, to be considered as a massage establishment, the business would employ 2 or more massage therapists. I would like to make a note that it was mentioned earlier that the registration fee is $90. However, it is $90 in the beginning for a massage therapist when they first run it, but it then goes up to $275, and that is every 2 years. An example, my wife and I are registered massage therapists here in Vermont. We have to register every 2 years at a current registration fee of $275. Combined, that is $550. We have our own practice and we have a space we work out of, which is our establishment. With new now proposed fee being present in H588, establishments will be required to pay $275 as well. This is unfair to small business, especially those owned by massage therapists. 588, a larger establishment will be paying one-time fee, only a one-time fee, $275, while a smaller establishment like our own is paying 3 fees in actuality. Our massage registration fee and the new establishment fee we will have be paying we'll have us being combined, we'll have us being paying $825 combined. This is a hefty combination of fees for any small business massage establishment, and especially in light of the fact that we are not licensed. I also like to say there was testimony about the complaints, and of those, there was 102 complaints since 2021 to OPR. 51 of those have been non-registration fees. And from our experience, I would like to point out, non-registration meaning that a therapist is not registered. A lot of our feedback we are getting on our end is that the therapists are not registering or have to re-register. Most of those may be re-registered, not sure of the number, but may not be re-registering because of the fee of $275, which is quite hefty. So this is a big deterrent for a lot of re-registration. With that said, we would like to ask the committee to consider an amendment to 588 relates to a fee exemption for massage therapists owned small businesses where the massage therapist owner is already paying a fee. I'll be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Any questions?
This one.
Yeah.
Hercules, just a question for you. In
Yes.
your business, is it a LLC? Is it a sole proprietorship? So you file a Schedule C? I mean, how is?
We're just a regular mom and pop practice. We practice our own and establishment, as a lot of massage therapists do.
Okay, so it's not, so it's probably a Schedule C
Yes.
with only yourself. Okay. Thank you.
No problem.
Were you wondering about their ability to write off the cost of registration fees, or were you just?
No, I was just thinking about structure and also about the number of establishments that are owned by somebody other than therapist, yeah.
Thank you very much. Really appreciate you joining us again.
Thank you.
Ted?
Oops. That's fine.
Okay. I'm gonna share my screen just so it's behind. Oh, there it goes. Okay. There's not a huge amount of content in the fiscal note. I will be primarily speaking, Ted Burnett, Joint Fiscal Office, if I haven't already said that. About the main fiscal impact of the bill is the expansion of this massage establishments that would pay the OPR establishment fee of $100 at registration and $275 at renewal. OPR estimates that 150 establishments would be required to pay this fee as a result of H588, which would result in about $15,000 in revenue in fiscal year 27 with our new applications or registrations, and then $40,000 in 2 years later when folks are renewing their licenses, and that would generate $40,000 in fiscal year 29, and every 2 years later. In the off year, there'll be some folks who would register off schedule and put them in even fiscal years, and you would see minimal revenue increases from that provision in those years. So that is the massage therapist establishment piece. There are a few other.
Ask questions.
Sure.
So Ted, I mean, your example, it does say in your line there, sole proprietors to be exempt from this report.
Correct. Yep.
So Mr. Leotard in that sense would be exempt from paying the additional $275 fee.
I believe in the scenario that Mr. Leotard described, their business is them and their partner both provide. But maybe they could be separate establishments. I don't really know.
Yes, don't know the full extent of the weeds, but yes, good point that sole proprietorships are exempted from this paying from this fee. For limited academic dentist licensure, we have $0. We want to note that OPR indicated that 6 people may avail themselves of this fee. Some could be from out of state.
Do we have an interstate compact on dentist?
Or they're registered out of state, but they would come to be faculty in Vermont. And so, right, they're not licensed as dentists currently in Vermont. And so, yes, very minimal fee impact there. Do want to note that the Sunrise assessments, there are definite costs for OPR to conduct these assessments. They're really going into the weeds, conducting a full evaluation of the profession. OPR did indicate that they have resources available in the already regulated speech language pathologist profession to use for the Sunrise assessment. So they're not going to be looking for additional resources to conduct that. And then finally, the bill does dissolve an advisory committee on midwifery, and they are entitled to per diem compensation, the maximum potential per diem compensation of $3,000 per year. But I understand OPR sees less than that, as we typically see in per diem compensation. So that's the full.
I couldn't hear that last sentence that you just said. I heard the $3,000, then.
Yes, when talking with OPR, they noted that they don't pay the full $3,000 in per diem compensation. Many times folks don't submit per diems if it's available to them. So it's certainly far less than $3,000, but we're fully in the dotting I's and crossing T's portion of the fiscal note. So I wanted to give the full picture.
Thank
Mhm.
Any other questions for Ted? Thank you much, Lee.
Of course.
I have a question for Director Colin, if you don't mind. In those numbers you gave to Ted, do you have a sense of how many of the establishment with more than one registered therapist are owned by registered therapists?
I don't believe that we were able to parse exact data right now, just because
we don't require registration of establishments at this point, so it's hard to have that data. We're piecing together from different sources. But we estimate that about half of our licensees, we have 1,260, registrants. And we estimate approximately half of those are sole proprietors, so they would not be required to pay an establishment fee. And then a substantial portion of the remaining 600 will be people who work in what will be registered establishments. So you think of a place like the Snowflake, where there are multiple practitioners there, and you're gonna have a resort that's having to get the establishment registration, but we don't have exact numbers.
Did you contemplate the sort of suggested amendment at all and thinking about sort of exempting folks who are already paying the registration fee from the fee for registering the
And
establishment?
I'm sorry, that was the first that I've heard of it, and
Okay.
so I would really need to talk
Okay,
to
great.
our team and our data and policy person about the financial implications of that.
Okay, would you mind doing that and telling us about it tomorrow?
I will do my best.
Okay, thank you. Cool. Appreciate that. Thank you. Anyone else have anything on this? Okay, thank you all, and I'll see you at 1:15.
Yep, you have to vote on this tomorrow, then
I hope so. Yeah. I don't want any,
straightforward.
yeah, totally. No. Just if we can make this work, that's great. And if we can't, we will keep it.